Hello my lovely painters, how are you? Listen, we've a snow day here in Ireland. It's big news. We very rarely get snow. So in honour of that, in the course we're sort of continuing to do bits and pieces, although most of the people have run through the course at this stage, for people who are making their way in their own time or who are going back around or whatever. And this morning Karen put up a post, a photograph of whiteout, a quite complicated one, and Karen is a photographer, so it's a really beautiful photograph that she's going to paint today. And I thought, in honor of the snow, that we in the Love to Paint group, including you people who are doing the course, might do a white on white challenge today. So what I want you to do is to paint a painting with white objects in it. Now, let's say that we have layers to this challenge, right? So if you are a complete beginner, pick one thing, like a cup, a white cup, and don't worry about putting it on a white background. Just paint a white cup. That will be plenty. If you are somebody who's intermediary or something like that, you can make it a little bit more complex. But here's the parameters. So what I want you to do is to keep it small. So a lot of painters forget the difference between an exercise and a painting. This is an exercise, so it's not something that I want you to take, you know, the next 6 weeks doing. So it's quick and short, and to help you do that, you want to keep it small. So this is an 8x8 canvas board. Here's another one. So that kind of size painting, no bigger. If you want to do 6x6, even smaller, that's fine too. So keep it small. Couple of tips, if you are going to paint snow, that's great if you've got a photograph or something, but keep it really simple and try and break down the difference between the darks and the lights and keep it really simple. If you are going to paint white objects, I would suggest that you use a shadow box. What is a shadow box, Ro? Well, I have one here, which I'll show you. This is my shadow box. So you could use a cardboard box, that will do fine. 3 sides and a top. If you're a beginner, as I was saying, just keep it really simple. Something like 1 cup is absolutely fine. If you've never painted white objects before, it might even be good to have it on a coloured background. So you're going to get some reflection of the colour onto your cup or your bowl or your vase or whatever it is. If you're going to go to kind of a more advanced level, then you want to have something white here and a white background and maybe a couple of objects, you know, play around with your composition. The thing to remember when painting white and white is that there's 2 things going on. There's values and there's colour. Now remember that white out of the tube is the whitest you're going to get, you know, and even then it has no colour in it. There's very little white anywhere that A is that white and, you know, pure white, and B has no colour in it. So really that white, the white out of the tube, you're really saving for your highlights. And everything else is going to be a combination of value and colour. Value is how dark or light a thing is, and colour is the reflected colour or the colour that's in the thing. And we're painting white objects. But if you look really carefully at your white objects, you will see, first of all, that they mightn't actually be pure white. They might be an off-white, and if they're off-white, it's what off-white? Are they a warm colour, a cool colour? So I would suggest that you look really carefully at your still life and you have a look and see what colour and what values are in it. So I'm just going to bring you closer. One of the reasons why I wasn't on earlier is that my house is full of kids because there's like snow day today. So you can play around with light in your shadow box. So I've got 2 lights here. You know, you can backlight, you can, you know, really change the composition almost by changing the light, but definitely you can change the shadows. Make it more dramatic, less dramatic, you know, all of that kind of stuff, and that really helps. So what we want to do is really think about where the darkest areas are. So I'm looking at the screen here and I can see that in here is probably the darkest area just back here, is the darkest area of this composition. I haven't set it up as composition. And in here, okay? Other areas of dark will be just here. Do you see that? Just there. And behind the lip, it's lighter in there. And then over here on this cup, do you see that there's an area here of dark? And then over here, there's an area of light. And up here, all around here is cool, but down here is warm. Okay. Now over here, I'm looking at the screen. I'm not looking at the actual still life, so I'm not getting as clear a view even as you are. But over here, because the light is a tungsten light, it's warm. It's got yellow in it. So the highlight here is warm. Okay, so we've got a warm area here, warm area here. We're also getting reflected of this green up into the cup up here. So there's just this area here is a reflection. And you'll notice too that there's an intense dark underneath the cup that makes it sit down. So your job is to decide what areas of this white composition are cool and what areas are warm, and which is the darkest area and which is the lightest area. So if we're looking at just this cup, okay, let's see. If we're looking at only that cup, you know, over here, you've got this very warm reflected light from the tungsten light, that's very warm, and over here it's cooler. So you've also got to decide, and in here it's very dark, you've got to decide how much darker in here is going to be compared to here. So if you create a value string is just a line of paint from dark to light. So you might decide to make a very simple way of doing this would be for you to make, say, a line of 4 values that are warm. So they're like off-white. Look at your actual cup and decide what the color should be. Or is there a little green in it? Has it got yellow ochre in it? You know, what's the makeup of it? So you're going to make up the darkest, lighter, lighter, and lighter 4 values. And then for the cooler tones, the same thing. And that might have some grey in it, or it could have violet in it. It'll be cooler. And you'll have darker, next darkest, and lightest. So you have 4 values of each, of a warm white and a cool white. And maybe try painting with just those 4 values. So keep it really simple, in other words. You can mix as you go along and mix as you go along, and you can do that, but I would suggest that you start with the values mixed and then mix as you go along. So once you get into it, you might say, okay, my darkest value here isn't actually dark enough, and you might need to make it dark. So you can adjust as you go. So keep it simple, keep it small. Either paint a landscape of a photograph of snow, because we've got plenty of it around here at the moment, or choose white objects. If you are a complete beginner, just pick one object like a cup. If you are a little bit more confident, you can make it more complicated. That's up to you, but keep your painting small. So I don't want to see, you know, 12 by 16s or 32 by 40s, you know. And once you have it done, pop it up into the group and put hashtag whiteout challenge, okay? And just pop it up into the group, and we will all have a look at our work. If you're not comfortable posting your actual painting, then make a post. Just tell us how it was for you. Was it challenging? Because painting white objects is challenging. It's difficult. So how did you get on? Did you enjoy it? What did you learn? You know, so you don't have to actually put the painting up if you're not confident to do that. So that is it for today. I'm painting this interior today here. That's what I'm busy doing. In fact, I was going to do this earlier, but I just had to get going. We have the beast from the east here in Ireland, which is very unusual here. So as you can see, we have snow outside, and we have more snow coming, and we have a storm coming. So that's very unusual, and they're saying that it's probably going to be the worst storm since 1982. There's no bread and milk in the shops left. Everybody's panicked. And we tend to do that when we get even the tiniest bit of snow, you know, but then we're not very prepared for it. You know, I think we have, you know, about 30 snow plows in the country kind of thing, you know. So for those of you who are at home because of the beast from the east, and there's no schools and no work, it's the perfect opportunity to get stuck into the studio or your kitchen studio like me and to paint today. And this is the perfect opportunity to do something. It's just a little exercise, it's just a bit of fun. Don't get too stressed out about it. If it isn't great, nobody died, it's no worries. This is not a competition. I do not want to only see beautiful, you know, exercises up in the group. I want to see the good, the bad and the ugly, because it's about learning, and this group is all about encouragement and support. It is not about showing off. You know, it's not about only the good people posting. It is about supporting each other. So if you put a post up, make sure you go over and look at the other ones as well and encourage people, because it's just about learning. So remember, paint small. Remember that it's about value, dark to light, and it's about color. What colors are in the white? And remember to reserve actual white only for the highlights. Good luck. See you later.